forward now. Now, excellent, perfect stuff. So folks, we'll start our practice. You know what, we'll sit for the first couple of minutes of our breath work and just gently release out the body a little bit. Let me just spot like this. Perfect. So just making yourself nice and comfortable. Welcome to your weekend practice. So allowing those sit bones to descend as always. I always advocate for an old cushion or a rolled up blanket or something, you know, if you need that to get that balance into your pelvis. I certainly do. But it might be that your body is very comfortable sitting down onto the ground. So that's perfect. So it's whatever works for your body. And just allowing your legs to cross in a comfortable way and your hands to just gently rest in your lap. And like that, just take a little sense into your shoulders and notice if you might be hunching them a little bit or if you can gently relax them down. And if you wish, just gently closing the eyes. Once you've achieved that balance in your pelvis, you can then seek into the length of your spine. So lengthening up that spine. And just noticing the natural movement of your body with your breath. And with each breath in through the nose and out through the nose, allowing yourself to settle in a little deeper into your seat. You're going to integrate just a little bit of movement before we come to the mats. So the first movement that we're going to do is going to just gently open the neck. So take a nice deep inhale with your gaze in center. And then super slowly on your exhale, gently release your gaze over your left shoulder, keeping your chin at the same height. So the key here is to be nice and slow and considered in your movement. So just moving to the point of your exhale. So you're just gently activating that right side of the neck. Take a full exchange of breath here. In through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose. And then gently, gently on your exhale, nice and slowly release that gaze back to center. Pause in center. Take a nice deep inhale in center. And as you exhale, gently release your gaze over your right shoulder now. So again, you're just moving nice and slowly to activate that left side of your neck. Again, take a full exchange of breath here. Another deep inhale. And as you exhale, gently, gently release back to center. Nice deep inhale in center. And then you're going to maintain a little bit of length in the back of your neck as you exhale and release your chin toward the ceiling, opening up that throat. Nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, gently release your gaze through center. Maintain a little length in the front of your neck as you gently release your chin toward your chest. Again, just gently activating the back of the neck. You might even feel this into the tops of the shoulders. Nice deep inhale and then gently release back to center. When you've come to that perfect stacking in center, inhale those shoulders up and just gently roll those shoulders forward 3 times. And then we'll roll them back 3 times. Just allowing any little creaks or cracks or pops that release there for you. Coming back to center. We're going to take a nice little twist on our next segment of breath. So a nice deep inhale in center. And as you exhale, take your right hand to your left knee. And as you exhale, allow yourself to twist over to the left again, nice and gently, allowing your left hand to land behind you. And then focus in on the breath. We're going to take a couple of rounds of breath here. As you inhale, you might lengthen into that spine. And as you exhale, you might twist a little deeper. And we're talking micro, nano movements, but every little helps. And as you inhale, you lengthen. As you exhale, you soften a little deeper into the twist. Take one last deep inhale. And then as you exhale, gently untwist yourself back to center. Beautiful. Take a nice deep inhale in center. And as you exhale, gently take your left hand to your right knee. Allow your right hand to land behind you as you gently twist over to the right. And again, using your breath here, as you inhale, you lengthen. As you exhale, you soften a little more into that twist. Enjoy your breath. This beautiful twist, a gorgeous way to begin our practice. One more deep inhale. And as you exhale, gently, gently release back to center. Gorgeous. We're going to make our way down to the mats for a little bit of abdominal breath. If you prefer to sit for your abdominal breath, that's perfect too. But if you are coming to lying on the mat, just bend up your knees first and do a little windscreen wipering of the legs side to side before you come to stillness. So we're basically just preparing our bodies for the most comfort that you can experience in stillness. So whether you're seated or lying down, just gently entering into stillness now, closing down your eyes and taking a little scan of your body. Firstly, noticing all the little points of connection of your body to the ground beneath you, the natural curves and lines of your body. Notice if there's any adjustment that you can take to be even more comfortable here. So it may be taking the arms a little wider or closer to you. Same with the legs. Maybe a little final wiggle of your body into the mat before gently releasing back to stillness. Noticing now if there's any particular area, body or mind, that could do with a little bit of extra care and attention this morning. Know that you'll dedicate that care and attention to that place. If you haven't already begun, when it feels comfortable to do so, beginning your abdominal breath practice, inhaling deeply through the nose, allowing the belly to rise toward the ceiling or out in front of you. Lungs fill, diaphragm descends. As you exhale, drawing that belly button back in toward the spine, helping you to empty those lungs completely. So we're seeking out that beautiful balance in the breath. The exhale just as important as the inhale to dispel any final little stale particles of energy that may be sitting in the bottom of our lungs, so that on your next inhale then you fully energize and oxygenate your cells, breathing in that prana, that life force energy, and releasing that apana, that energy that you've already used and have no more need for. For the next minute or so, we're just simply going to balance the breath, inhaling deeply through the nose, putting an internal count to that inhale. So if your inhale is to the count of 5, you will exhale to the count of 5. We're simply balancing out that breath. Enjoy. Now you may choose to continue with your balanced breath, or if you wish, you can begin your box breath practice. So this practice is choosing a count, either 4 or 5. You inhale for that count, you pause for that count, you exhale for that count, and you pause for that count again. So choosing either your balanced breath or your box breath for the next minute or two. Enjoy. Continue for 2 more rounds of your breath practice, whichever you're following, whether it's the balanced breath or the box breath practice. And after that second round of breath, you're just going to gently release your breath back to its most natural, most easeful state. And again, just taking a moment or two to scan your body and notice how you're feeling after just a few minutes of conscious breath, knowing that you can access this at any stage of your day, of your night that soothes you. Gently begin to bring a little movement to fingers and toes or hands and feet. And take that little wriggle of your body into the mat. So just sensing that pressing of the body down into the mat and then that gentle release back to the natural curvature. Keeping your gaze soft, gently blink open your eyes. And when it feels good for you, just returning to stillness in center and then lengthening through your arms as you inhale and take a full stretch. Exhale and soften back down to the mat. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and soften. We'll do one more. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and soften. Gently guide those arms back down either side of your body. And we'll bend up those knees, feet flat to the mat to begin. And then gently guide the knees in toward the chest. And just hold here for a couple of moments, a few breaths. Let's allow the low back to release. In through the nose and out through the nose. We can stay in stillness here, or if you wish to begin a little bit of movement, we can take those knees about an inch to the right and gently return them to center, about an inch to the left and gently return to center. And just allowing ourselves to increase that distance with each round and really tapping into where in your low body you're feeling this release. So we're kind of giving ourselves a little bit of a self-massage. So the further you go with your knees, the different parts that are activated. So it's just about being really sensitive to this. You might choose to release from that side to side motion. You might like to bring the knees closer to you and further away, so like forward and back. And again, just noticing the different parts that you're activating with that motion. You might then choose to take those knees in circles, giving yourself, again, that kind of exploration of what you're tapping into with each of these different movements. And gently returning to center. Keeping that right knee in toward the chest, place that left foot down to the mat. And we'll take our belt and bring the belt around the ball of the right foot. So again, really mindful placement of the belt as always. Excuse me. Lengthening through your right leg. You want to keep that lovely softness in the knee. You're stepping into the belt. You're spreading those toes, even if they don't physically spread, the intention of spreading them causes that muscle to hug to bone, and sending that energy through that right heel. If your belt is long enough, elbows to the mat. And if it's comfortable, lengthening through that left leg completely, flat to the mat, making that full footprint so your toes are pointing toward the ceiling. And breathe into this. In through the nose and out through the nose. Again, allowing that depth of the breath to mobilize this release through the right side of your lower body. The absolute medicine of our practice. Again, allowing your breath to soften through your shoulders. And after a couple of rounds of breath, you might like to check in and see if you've created any additional little space, so that right foot might come a teeny tiny bit closer to you. And just take 2 more deep breaths into this space. After that second round of breath, gently pass both sides of your belt to your right hand. Remembering our most important principle, holding that left hip, that left leg stable to the mat, as we gently release that right leg nice and slowly to the right. Again, allowing that left hip and left leg to stay stable. And when we've got our right leg to the perfect point for our practice, sensing into your principles. So again, that softness in the knees maintained, that lovely stepping into the belt, that gentle energy through the heel. With your left arm, you can extend out from your body. You can place it down beside you. You can gently rest it on your tummy, whatever feels really good as you breathe into this. In through the nose and out through the nose. And taking one last deep breath here. And then you're going to engage all of those core muscles and just nice and slowly inhale that right leg back to center. Pausing in center, allowing that gentle settling of the hips in center before you pass both sides of your belt to your left hand and gently guide that right foot 3 to 4 inches across midline, so in line with your left shoulder. Your right femur is descending toward the mat. Soft knee stepping into the belt. Enjoy your breath. Again, your right arm can be extended from your body, or you can rest it down by your side or on your tummy. Again, finding what feels just right for your practice this morning. Take one final deep breath here. And then gently release that right leg again, nice and slowly, always nice and beautifully contained in our movement. Allowing that settling in center before gently guiding that right knee in toward the right side of your chest and releasing that belt. And we'll just hold that knee in place here for just a couple of breaths. And gently beginning to circle that right foot about 5 times in each direction. Like with our shoulders, so certainly for me, I have lots of little creaks of release through that right ankle. And gently release then to the mat. And just take a moment to appreciate that differentiation, that softening, that flattening, that release that right leg has undergone, and that you're going to balance out now on the left side in just a moment. So we'll step up those feet again, and this time gently guide your left knee in toward the left side of your chest, mindfully placing that belt around the ball of the foot in that really considered placement, lengthening through that left leg. So again, we want that lovely softness in the knee, that stepping into the belt, that spread of the toes, energy through that left heel. And again, if your belt is long enough, elbows to the mat is absolutely perfect. And then lengthening through that right leg, fully flat to the mat, making that full footprint so you've got those toes pointing toward the ceiling. Enjoy your breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. Again, making sure to allow that breath to release through your shoulders too. You might like to check in and see if maybe you have created a little bit more space in that left leg. That left foot might come, and we'll talk about smidges and teeny tiny amounts, but it might come a little bit closer to you. Again, just staying really sensitive to your practice and noticing if you have created any extra space that you're claiming it. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then we're going to gently pass both sides of the belt to the left hand. Again, remembering the most important principle, that right hip, that right leg remains solid to the mat as you gently release that left leg to the left. Again, only as much as is comfortable while that right hip and that right leg stays stable to the mat. When you've got that left leg in place, checking in on your principle, so making sure you still have that softness in the knee, that you're still stepping into the belt, spreading those toes and sending that energy through that left heel. You can extend your right arm out from your body or place it down beside you or gently on your tummy, whatever feels just right as you breathe into this. And one more deep breath here. Excuse me, and then fully engage your core to use those muscles to help you to slowly inhale that left leg back to center. Pausing in center to allow that gentle settling. And then pass both sides of your belt to your right hand and gently guide that left foot 3 to 4 inches across midline in line with your right shoulder. Left femur descending, soft knee, stepping to the belt, energy through that heel, and that right leg staying awake for you, still holding you beautifully. The left arm can extend from your body, or again, gently rest by your side or on your tummy. Enjoy your breath. One last deep breath here. And then again, nice and slowly, gently release that left leg back to center. Again, pause, allow that settling before gently guiding that left knee in toward the left side of your chest. Release your belt, hold on to your knee, and just enjoy your breath. Gently begin to circle that left foot about 5 times in each direction. Again, just welcoming that release. And then gently extending both legs and just taking a few moments to appreciate that beautiful release that you have activated through that sequence. Excellent work. So we're going to do our eye of the needle pose. Excuse me. So bringing those feet up about hip width apart, the knees are bent. You're going to take your right ankle over your left knee. Now, if it feels better for you to keep your left foot to the mat and just gently guide your right knee away, that's perfect. Or if it's available to you, bring your left leg to tabletop position. I'll scooch around. Right, sorry, left leg to tabletop. And you can bring either your hands in behind that left thigh, or you can take your belt if you need a little bit more length. So if you can't comfortably, bring the back of the head, the back of the sit bones, and the back of the shoulders to the mat, the belt can be a really good way for you to get that extra length. So it's kind of making yourself, giving yourself those arms, like what was that toy, Stretch Armstrong? Anyway, the toy with the really long arms, your belt will give that to you if you need. So when you've got those sit bones, backs of the shoulders and back of the head to the mat, activating that opposing energy of guiding your left knee toward you as you guide your right knee away at the same rate and pace, which just gently opens that right hip. So again, you probably won't even physically see the movement that creates that just beautiful opening. And once you've activated it, just settling in and breathing into that right hip, the beautiful space that you're creating into your right hip. One last deep breath into that right hip. And then gently guide your left foot to the mat. Release that right foot and just take a moment, allow that energy to settle in your right hip. So a huge part of our practice is this sensitivity that we're building through our bodies to appreciate the impact of our movements, of our breath through body and mind. Gently taking your left ankle over your right knee now. And again, if you want to keep your right foot pressing into the mat and just gently guide your left knee away a little bit, that's perfect. Or if it's available, taking your right leg to tabletop, taking that left hand through the eye of the needle and taking the hands in behind that right thigh, or using your belt if you need a little bit more length. You want the backs of your sit bones, backs of the shoulders, back of the head to the mat, and then just activate that opposing energy, right knee towards you, left knee away, to just gently open that left hip. Enjoy your breath. Breathe into that left hip. This beautiful opening. And so much of our practice is designed to release the body so that we have more comfort and stillness or in our general movements. We're releasing all of this tension from the hips and lower body, It's just absolute medicine. One last deep breath into that left hip. And then gently release that right foot nice and slowly to the mat. Release that left foot and just take a moment to appreciate that energy settling into the left hip. Now we're going to do our happy baby. We'll do half happy baby on each side first. So you're going to take your right knee as if you're bringing it toward your armpit. So it's like it's a little bit wider than if you were bringing it towards your chest. So it's just outside the rib cage. You're taking your right forearm inside that right calf and grabbing the baby toe edge of your right foot as you then gently extend that sole of the foot toward the ceiling. And just again settle in and breathe in. And again, if you need to activate your stretch, you can use your belt around the ball of the foot to help you with that motion. So again, whatever feels really good for your practice. We're keeping that left foot to the mat and we're just gently breathing in. So again, we're seeking to have those sit bones descending to the mat, that right knee descending. So with each breath, again, we might be talking in teeny tiny measures of smidges, but it might soften a little bit more toward the mat. One more deep breath here. And then gently release your hand. Slowly return your right foot to the mat. And again, just take a moment to allow that settling of energy. And then we'll gently guide that left knee again toward the armpit, so outside the rib cage. Taking the left forearm to the inside of the left calf and taking that baby toe edge of the left foot. Again, use your belt if you need a little bit more length. That's perfectly accessible, or it's what our props are for, right? Like to give us the extra space that we need for our practice. So you're extending that left sole of the foot toward the ceiling and allowing that left knee descend toward the mat. So again, just really focusing in on the breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. Again, you want those sit bones to be staying, moving toward the mat. Enjoy your breath. One last deep breath here. And then gently release that hand. And again, nice and slowly release that left foot to the mat. And again, just take a little moment to appreciate that settling. And then we're going to go into full happy baby. So again, taking both knees up this time, again, outside the chest, taking your forearms inside your calves, grabbing those baby toe edges of the feet, and just extending those soles of the feet toward the ceiling and allowing yourself so those sit bones are descending toward the mat. With each breath, the knees are descending a little more. I'd like to just demonstrate actually from this side. We did this earlier in the week and I kind of felt like I wasn't showing that actually your feet or your knees can be quite a distance from the mat and you're still doing the pose, right? Like, so my feet, my knees are about a foot away from reaching the mat. And that's totally perfect. That's where my body is. Enjoy your breath. One last deep breath here. And then you're going to gently guide the soles of your feet together, bringing your hands through your legs and to the outside of your ankles, and just kind of coming into that sort of reclined cobbler's pose with the feet in the air. Holding onto those ankles, allowing those sit bones to descend, those feet to press into one another. Might be better demonstrated head on. Enjoy your breath. Again, these poses, these asana are actually really good for, like I said, allowing you to come to stillness and comfort. And all I can think about is the afternoon I'm going to spend on my couch in deep comfort, like watching movies and enjoying the rain. Take one last deep breath here, and then gently release your hands and allow your legs to come to the mat, maintaining that cobbler's pose position. So maintaining those feet pressing toward each other, the knees out to either side. Absolutely gorgeous. Gently taking your hands to your legs and just guiding those legs back to center. And we'll just take our hands either side of the body and help ourselves back up as we come to a seated position, and then rock forward to our hands and knees. So again, we want to make sure that we're stacking those hips over the knees, the shoulders over the elbows, over the wrists. We're looking to just take those few moments, like we do at the start of our practice, to engage those the energy of the body into that index knuckle. So basically, we're just trying to take the pressure out of the heels of our hands. So a gentle internal rotation of those forearms will activate that for you. But again, remember, we're on a journey. It won't always happen instinctively. So that's why we do these extra little bits of prep to give ourselves that most healthful practice. So as you exhale, we're going to come to our cat pose. So chin toward the chest, belly button toward the spine as you curl that spine toward the ceiling. As you inhale, allowing that belly to descend toward the mat, the heart to open, the gaze to come forward for your dog or cow pose, depending on where you've practiced. So you exhale to cat. Inhale through to dog. Just moving on your own breath will just bring that beautiful mindful mobility to the spine, that gorgeous decompression. Take one last round. And then gently return to center. And we're going to do our prowling tiger pose. I'm just going to come back a little bit so I don't punch my radiator. So from your hands and knees, we're going to step that left foot back so the toes come to the mat. Engage the inner thigh to bring that left foot to hip height nice and slowly. So we're not flinging it up in the air. We're wanting that controlled motion. So the hips are aligned. The left foot is lengthening back. Inhale and extend that right arm forward, that thumb toward the ceiling. So you're keeping that tailbone lengthening, that core engaged to be strong here in your prowling tiger. Gently return to center. So we're going to do the same on the other side, extending that right foot out, toes to the mat. Engage that inner thigh to bring that right foot to hip height. Extending then out through that left arm, thumb toward the ceiling, core engaged, tailbone lengthening, strong in your tiger. Release to center. So we're going to flow through our prowling tiger. And as you do this, you inhale and you lengthen, and then you exhale and you release back to the mat, and you do the other side. So moving to your own breath, as you inhale, you lengthen, exhale and release. Inhale and lengthen through the other side. So again, just moving on your own breath, but remembering that beautiful muscle energy that we tracked into the body in that first tiger. That's what we want to be activating. So we're not just flinging our bodies around. We're really mindfully engaging the body as we flow through this prowling tiger. One last round. And then gently release to center. We're going to do our little bit of footwork. And as always, with the footwork, we are going to do a little bit of shoulder work at the same time, just to maybe take a little bit of the attention away from the discomfort. So you're turning over the toes. And if it's comfortable for you, sitting down. Now, if that's not comfortable for you today, that's absolutely fine. And just kneel up. But like that, if we can hold ourselves here for as long as it's comfortable, right? Like that's all we're seeking, so that we're building that strength into our feet. Like that, all the benefits that are being reported back to me, the comfort that people are experiencing, the capacity that they have to walk longer, to be able to just live more comfortably. So we're going to use our belts for a bit of shoulder flossing today. And again, just stay sitting on the heels for as long as it's comfortable, and do kneel up at any time. We're taking our belts and we're taking our hands just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. We'll inhale and we'll extend that belt toward the ceiling, and we're going to keep those shoulder blades nice and soft as we pull that belt apart for our first little bit of shoulder flossing. As you exhale, release the belt behind you. Beautiful release. You inhale, you're going to be taking the belt back up. Bend those elbows if you need to. Exhale and release forward. Inhale, the belt up. Exhale and release behind you. Inhale, the belt up. Again, bend those elbows if you need to. Exhale and release. Inhale, the belt up. Exhale and release behind you. Inhale up and release in front of you. Beautiful. Release the belt and come up onto your knees if you were down for all that time, and just make sure to point and flex those feet, releasing that beautiful strength that we're building in. Maybe bringing a little roll to the shoulders as well after that opening. Beautiful. So we're going to come to standing, and you want to be standing at the top of your mat. So come to your Tadasana, so taking the time to find your Tadasana, the heads of the femurs signifying the lines of the legs, plugging equally through those feet, the pelvis nice and neutral, the spine long, the shoulders soft. Inhale the arms toward the sky, and as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale for half lift, extending that crown of the head. Exhale and fold. Inhale that right foot to the back of the mat. Allow that pelvis to settle, and let's take a couple of breaths here in our low lunge. Hands still to the mat. So you're pulling the mat apart with your feet. Enjoy your breath. That tailbone is lengthening, that pelvis is settling. Then hug those legs toward each other to come up for high lunge. Hands to the hips to begin. Keep that pelvis settling, that tailbone is lengthening. Inhale and release the arms toward the ceiling. As you exhale, release the arms behind you, interlace those fingers, and let's just open up those chests a little bit. Taking a little baby back bend if that's comfortable for you. Returning to center, inhale the arms back up. And as you exhale, gently guide the hands through center, taking that right hand to the mat, allowing that pelvis to settle as you twist from the ribs to bring that left hand toward the ceiling in a beautiful revolved crescent lunge. We're stretching, we're twisting, we're lengthening. And gently release that left hand to the mat. Release that left foot back, and we're back in downward facing dog. Taking a little movement in the dog, bending one knee at a time, allowing the opposite heel to descend toward the mat. You just use this beautiful full body release. Return to stillness here and send those upper thigh bones back. Release that spine a little deeper. And as you inhale, float forward, roll forward to forward board pose. Push the floor away. You can bring the knees to the mat if you wish. As we exhale, forward and down, chaturanga, parallel to the floor, and then release fully to the floor. Lengthening those legs long and strong, hands either side of your chest. So inhale and lift the heart for cobra pose, opening up those collarbones, throat back, strong legs, protect your low back. Turning over your toes and lifting yourself up and back to downward facing dog. If that's comfortable for you, if you come through hands and knees, that's perfect too. Finding whatever works really well for your practice this morning. Inhale that right foot between the hands. So take your time. It might take you a couple of goes to get that right foot between the hands. And then we're going to gently pivot that left heel down. So we're after creating our warrior two legs. So that right knee is bent over that right ankle, the left foot, that right heel is dissecting that left foot, and we're plugging through, we're coming up for warrior two. Allow that pelvis to settle. So inhale and lengthen the arms, bring the gaze over the right middle finger. Enjoy your breath, strong in your warrior, plugging through those feet. Foundation strong, arms strong, body strong. Enjoy your breath. Your next exhale, we're going to release into reverse warrior. So gently allowing that left hand to meet that left leg, and you're taking your right hand as if you are placing a hat on your head. You're keeping the same formation of your legs, and it can help to bring the back of your left hand to the left leg to avoid the temptation of placing any weight into that left leg. On your next inhale, lengthen through your right leg as you windmill your right hand down to meet your right leg, keeping that knee nice and soft in the right leg. Right hand to the ankle, to the calf, wherever feels really good. If you find that your hand is meeting higher than your knee, you just make sure that you don't place any weight into it. You can stay right here, keeping your left hand on your hip, or if you wish, gently bring your left hand to your right and draw your hand up your arm, across your chest, and up to the ceiling for a full expression of triangle trikonasana. Enjoy your breath. Gently release that left hand to the mat, release that right hand down, and place that right foot back. We're coming back to downward facing dog. Again, taking a little movement in the dog if that feels good for you. And then we're gently going to walk those feet one at a time to come to the top of the mat in forward fold. Plugging through those feet, bend those knees nice and deeply. Allow your belly to rest on your thighs. Sit bones toward the ceiling. Enjoy your breath. Again, with each breath, just allowing yourself to release a little more. Plug through those feet, zip up those legs as we root and rise. And bring those hands through center. Beautiful. Inhale the arms up, gaze to the ceiling. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half lift, extending that crown of the head. Exhale and fold. Inhale that left foot to the back of the mat. Again, we're going to take a few breaths in our low lunge here. So again, feeling that beautiful length and opening in the legs. The lengthening of the tailbone, the balancing of the pelvis. Enjoy your breath here in this low lunge. And then we're going to hug those legs energetically toward midline to come up for high lunge, placing the hands on the hips. Tailbone lengthening, pelvis settling. Inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, release the arms behind your back, interlace those fingers and give yourself a beautiful opening of the chest. And if a little baby back bend feels good for you here, by all means, on your next inhale, releasing those arms back to the sky. And as you exhale, bringing those hands down through center, that left hand to the top left of the mat. Again, keep that pelvis settling, that tailbone lengthening as you bring that right hand toward the ceiling for our revolved crescent lunge. Gently release that right hand back down. Plug those hands, release that right foot back. We're back in downward facing dog. Inhale and roll forward. Forward board pose, plank pose, push that floor away. Knees to the mat if you wish. As we exhale forward and down, parallel to the floor, chaturanga, and fully release to the floor. Lengthening those legs, long and strong, in steps into the mat, hands either side of the chest as we inhale and lift the heart for cobra pose. Again, throat back, strong legs. Making your way back to downward facing dog, which I'm actually going to do the other way now so I don't have my back to you for the next sequence. And we're going to be inhaling that left foot between the hands. So again, give yourself as many goes as you need to get that left foot in between those hands. You're then going to pivot down that right heel. So again, we've got that warrior two leg formation, left heel dissecting that right instep, left knee stacking on that left ankle, tailbone lengthening, pelvis settling. Inhale the arms up for warrior two. Gaze over the left middle finger. Again, we're strong here in our warrior. Enjoy your breath. On your next exhale, you're going to release that right hand to the right leg as you come into reverse warrior. Again, as if you're placing a hat on your head, but you're keeping your legs in the same formation. On your next inhale, lengthening through that left leg and windmill that left hand to meet that left leg. Again, if it's below your calf, that's absolutely perfect. If it's above the knee, you need to make sure that you don't place any weight into that. You can keep your right hand to your hip, or if you wish, gently bring your right hand to your left and draw your right hand up your left arm across your chest and toward the ceiling for our Trikonasana triangle pose. Enjoy your breath. And gently release that right hand back to the mat. Plug those hands, release that left foot back. We're back in downward facing dog. Again, just take any little bit of movement in your dog that makes you feel really comfortable here. And maybe returning to stillness for a couple of deep breaths here. And then walk the feet up the mat to come back to forward fold. Again, bend those knees nice and deeply. Allow the head to hang heavy, the arms to hang heavy. We're going to take those feet slightly wider, turn the toes out to the right a little bit, the right toes to the right a little bit, the left toes to the left a little bit, as we gently prepare for Malasana, Yogi squat. So allowing the hips to descend toward the mat. Again, if you need to take something, a height under your heels, that's absolutely perfect. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, you can press your arms into your legs into your arms, to just deepen this opening in our yogi squat. Enjoy your breath. If it's available to you, you might like to bring the arms up as if you're holding a beach ball in front of you, maybe right on top of your head, depending on how strong you are in your squat. And then gently release those arms back down to the mat. We'll bring those feet back to their forward fold positioning and just breathe here for a few moments in our forward fold. Inhale for half lift. Exhale and fold. Plug those feet, zip those legs as we inhale and root to rise and bring those hands down through center. Beautiful. So we're going to make our way down to the mats now. And we're going to do our lovely bridge pose, a lovely twist, and then we're on the route to Shavasana already. Time flies, guys, when we have these practices together. So taking ourselves back to the mat, feet slightly wider than hip width apart, and like that, kind of like relatively close to your bum, like if you kind of reach down, you should be able to touch your heels. Plugging those upper arms, the backs of the shoulders, the back of the head. Most importantly, plugging through those feet as we inhale those hips toward the ceiling. Enjoy your breath, nice deep breaths, allowing that breath to move the intercostal muscles of your back ribs. One last deep inhale. And then use your exhale to just gently release yourself vertebra by vertebra back to the mat. Gorgeous. Extending through your right leg completely flat to the mat. And bringing your left leg to tabletop position. We'll take that right hand to the outside of the left knee and gently guide that left knee over to the right, allowing your right foot to come onto the baby toe edge. If it's available to you, opening out that left arm, bringing your gaze over your left shoulder for a deep twist to end our practice. Enjoying your breath here. These twists so good for our spinal health, our digestive health. Just a gentle, soothing effect through the body, mirrored in the mind. Take one last deep breath here. And then gently, gently release your legs back to center, keeping that left leg in that tabletop position, allowing yourself to come back to center completely, the pelvis to settle before you lengthen that left leg. And again, like at the start, you might feel an imbalance left to right now, but we're going to balance that out. Taking your right leg to tabletop, your left hand to the outside of the right knee, as you gently guide that right knee all the way over to the left. Again, allow your left foot to come with you. So it's on baby toe edge. You're not trying to make that full footprint anymore. If it's available, lengthening out that right arm from your body, bringing your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, for a beautiful, delicious deep twist. Take one more deep breath here. And then we're going to, again, take our legs nice and slowly back to center, keeping that right leg in that tabletop positioning until you come back to center, allowing then that settling of the body in center before you extend that right leg completely. And then just sensing into that beautiful, soothing sensation. It's time for Shavasana. Grab your blanket, your cozy socks, whatever you need to be the most comfortable you can be for these final few minutes of deep integration of our practice. Coming back to your mat, arms down by your sides, either palms facing inward or up toward the ceiling. Feet about 8 to 10 inches apart. You can allow those big toes to touch and then gently release them, flop them out to the sides in deep comfort. You might like to have a cushion or a bolster under your knees. Or if it's most comfortable for you, you can bend up those knees fully, mat width apart, and just gently allow the knees to support each other in center. So just finding whatever is the perfect expression of Shavasana for you, this important time to allow the benefits of the practice to embed deeply, body and mind, to present themselves to us in all of our movement, our breath, our thoughts. Deepening the breath as you inhale through the nose, allowing the belly button to rise gently. Exhale, slowing that breath right down. And just how much you can slow down your exhale. The simple act of slowing the exhale, deeply soothing your body and mind, activating the parasympathetic nervous system to gently guide you to a state of rest. For the next few minutes, just gently guiding your awareness around your body, welcoming these sensations of your practice, priming yourself for optimum health and well-being. Starting with your right foot. Soften, release, relax. Journeying through the muscles of your right leg, your calf, your thigh. Soften, release, relax. To your left hand now, your left foot even. Soften, release, relax. The muscles of your left leg, your calf, your thigh. Soften, release, relax, let go. To your pelvis, feeling weighty and rooted to the ground beneath you. Soften, release, relax. The muscles of your torso, your tummy, your lower back body, across your chest and the backs of your shoulders. Soften, release, relax, let go. Your right shoulder, journeying through the muscles of your right arm now, your upper arm, your forearm, all the way into your right hand. Soften, release, relax. Your left hand, gently journeying through the muscles of your left arm now, your forearm, upper arm, all the way into your left shoulder. Soften, release, relax. The muscles of your neck, across your jaw, your tongue. Soften, release, relax. In the corners of your mouth, all the way to your ears, the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, your scalp. Every last muscle in your body now. Soften, release, relax. With every breath, releasing a little deeper, knowing that all that's left for you to do is enjoy this feeling.
With deepening breath, introducing a little movement to fingers and toes, hands and feet, until it feels perfect to just gently roll over to your right, using your right hand as a pillow. Pause here for a nice deep breath, in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. Take one more of those. Then gently, using your left hand and your left leg, guide yourself back to a seated position, keeping your eyes gently closed and your hands together in front of our hearts. Bowing your head to your own heart, to each other's heart, and the eternal heart. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this morning. Namaste. Thank you all. To stop this recording.
Thank you, lovely.